Hello everyone, welcome down to the Quest Golf Academy and the review of a driver which is so good it doesn't even need to be teed up. Apparently, this is the GX7 driver, and this is the first driver that I have bought in a long time. And the reason I bought this driver, it's twofold. First of all, because of some of the outrageous claims that it's making, the people behind the driver, not the driver, but also because it's such a throwback to the good old days of telemarketing. But first things first, let's go through some of the claims of this club. Now, the first thing to point out, and something which is talked about in the literature and on the promotional videos about the GX7, this is not designed for professional golfers. Apparently this is designed for an average golfer who swings it at 100 miles an hour or under. But here are the key differences between this driver and a conventional driver. So it's at 14 degrees. Now, is 14 degrees still a driver? But anyway, promotes high launch angle off the tee, and with a little practice you can hit it off the deck, plus more loft equals less likely to slice, and you might even hit a draw. Length is at 43 degrees, so that's going to be shorter again than a driver. This is my particular favorite comparison. The club head size, so a normal driver from 440 to 460cc. Many golfers find maxed out club heads ugly and awkward and forget hitting this monster from the fairway. The GX7 is at 267cc, large enough to provide extreme MOI, unmatched forgiveness and confidence at address, small enough to comfortably hit without a tee. The first thing I want to do is put this to the test, look at the data, see what's coming out, and then give my general impressions of this club. What it feels like, what it looks like, and then how it compares to, I mean, I'll hit some drivers, but to be honest, this is going to be more comparable to a 3-wood.
So initial thoughts on the GX-7. Behind the ball, the matte finish on top of the head is actually quite nice. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen in the world. The rest of the club does, well, there's no nice way of putting it. It does look quite cheap. It's a stiff flex shaft at 65 grams. It doesn't feel the stiff, but again, this isn't marketed at your fast swinging golfer. There's a little bit of an offset in the club shaft to the club head as well, and it's quite strange. It's got a really sharp top line, and it makes the club look quite long. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hit 10 shots just at a nice relaxed speed to mimic the speeds that the GX7 is meant to perform the best at. Off the deck, of course. You're listening to this, by the way. Weather in the UK at the moment is so bad. Oh, bullet. The actual weight of the club feels quite pleasant. 65 gram shaft, I'm not sure how much the club weighs in total. It actually feels all right though. It does feel like I could move it quite quickly if I wanted to. If you're looking to claim that a club can be hit from the deck, that is not a club which I would put behind the ball and be inspired from a confidence standpoint. It's big, it's deep. And as far as I'm aware, but get into those comments below and let me know, if you get a fairway wood behind the ball off a lie, do you want to see something shallow or do you want to see something really deep? I mean, that's going to encompass pretty much the entire surface of the ball. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hit 5 shots off the deck at a normal swing speed, so what I would normally hit at. I've done some past experiments actually having a driver head with the 3-wood shaft and having a shorter shaft in a big-headed club. I do like the feeling of that. So when you actually put it down behind the ball, I will tee it up as well eventually, but putting it down behind the ball, it's actually a comfortable distance away. That is a little bit more confidence inspiring. Take it all back. Take it all back. It's going to be going into the build my bag driver test, this one. So it feels quite hard to control the club head, but I think that's just because the shaft for me is that little bit whippy. The strike, it doesn't feel too bad. It feels quite heavy. It doesn't feel like the ball's exploding off the face. It does have a certain solidity which doesn't make me want to throw up in my mouth. Now, just for reference, I'm going to hit some shots with my 3-wood. So this is the Ping G4 110. So this is what came through the Build My Bag series. Now, the shaft is obviously more suited for me. The club head, so the club head has 0.5 degrees more loft on it, but even so, it actually looks a lot better. It actually looks so much better behind the ball just because it's shallow, it's more inviting to hit. Okay, so 5 shots with this, just my normal swing. Now, we've got to take this with obviously a bit of a pinch of salt. I've got a club which I've fitted myself for, appropriate shaft, one that I feel comfortable with, but we can see straight away there's a slight change in performance. Now, bear in mind, I have absolutely nothing to gain hitting the GX7 by giving it some stick, by telling you if it's great or not. There's no skin off my nose either way. But straight away, to call that a driver, which is easy to hit off the deck, and at 14 degrees of loft, which is really more like a 3-wood, it's nowhere near as easy to hit as this one. Well, I'm probably not going to hit. And that should show you as well how well I'm swinging it today. I ain't going to hit 5 better 3-woods than that in a row. Now, swinging at a slower swing speed, so I managed to dip it down to about 85. It's not my natural speed, so slowing down that much was a little bit of a struggle, but even so, I've taken out the 2 really terrible shots as well, and it was just very inconsistent. It was very hard to actually find the bottom of my swing with that club. When I ramped up the speed a bit, I saw more success. It's more of my natural swing. You would expect that. I'm gonna have to try and hit some off the tee as well, get the data for that, just to see what it's like, because off the deck it's well, what an absolutely pleasant surprise this is. So started to hit that driver off the tee, all of a sudden things started to make a little bit more sense. Yes, it's not the most powerful. It actually feels pretty good when you strike it off the tee. And keeping my swing speed to under 100 miles an hour, just a nice smooth swing. I've got to be honest, some of those shots there were really good. And in comparison to the Ping, yes, it's not as far, I just don't think the quality of the construction and the technology is as good, but actually it was accurate. I'll give it that, it was accurate. And it does claim that within the marketing as well about how accurate it is for your average golfer, but it claims so much that something's going to be true. But yeah, off the tee, that was actually quite surprising. Is it good enough for me to recommend that everyone ditch their normal driver? I'm not sure, but at least I've seen something there that makes me a little bit more comfortable in making that purchase.
Okay, back in the office and time to have a look through some more of the marketing claims, or the club claims made about the GX-7. So you used to get these adverts on stuff like the Gold Channel, Sky Sports, all this stuff, selling the Slazenger K1 driver. That was a thing back here. And it worked back in the day. You know, these were multi-million-dollar businesses, all on the back of the claims that they were making on TV. You put your order in over the phone. Remember that? The miracle club would arrive and promptly make no difference. So I've uploaded here the landing page when you go to buy one of the GX7 clubs, and it's an absolute barrage of information about how unbelievably good this club is. So new club delivers the distance of a high performance driver and the accuracy of a fairway wood using your natural 7-iron swing. This bar which runs down the front of the club, this is supposed to mimic the sole of a 7-iron, so it's as easy as a 7-iron to hit. And one thing I can guarantee, this is not as easy as a 7-iron to hit. And this is pretty classic. Dear solution-seeking golfer, the lessons didn't help much, did they? Neither did tweaking your grip or revamping your backswing. And that golf fitness regime? Hey, at least you gave it a try. Now here you are, all that time and effort and money gone down the drain, wondering why the heck your tee shots are still short and crooked? It's a puzzler, for sure. But we know the answer. Ready? Question mark. Here it is. Colon. You've been doing it backwards. You've been trying to make your swing work with your driver when what you need is a driver that works with your swing. Sorry, we would have told you sooner if such a club actually existed. It didn't, but now it does. But we sense you're waiting to interject. What's on your mind? Question mark. Let's back up a minute, you're thinking. I'm thinking a lot of things. So I'll leave this up here and I'll scroll through it a little bit so you can have a look through, pause and have a look at this if you really, really want to. But all these clubs are based on the fact that if you've got a dodgy technique, the clubs that you're using are the problem. Now I'm going to tell you something which you might not want to hear. Actually, probably deep down, you actually know. If you're slicing your driver into the trees, no matter what club you're using, it ain't the club. And when you go through this marketing, it's basically all about how this club
is the best of everything. It's a driver, but it's not a driver. It's a fairway wood, but it's not a fairway wood. It's a driver. It's not an iron, but it's easy to hit as a 7-iron. Now, hammering down into some of the specific claims, I think I've already covered the fact that this isn't as easy to hit off the deck as a normal 3 wood. It's too deep, it's too bulky. This thing about the ridge making it as easy to hit as a 7-iron, that's not going to work either. We've already got those clubs, they're called hybrids. Is this just a driver crossed with a fairway wood and declared revolutionary? Yes. Probably the best driver I've hit since the persimmon days. Where are these people? Where have these people been? Now, it's super easy for me to look at this and criticize the marketing when you could say that really this is all that the major manufacturers are doing as well with their marketing. They're promising more distance, more accuracy, and all the rest of it. And let's be honest, the guys behind the GX7 driver, they've sold quite a few more drivers than I ever have. I think it just harks back to that little bit of desperation the golfers have about their game. You know, something is going wrong, driving, whatever it may be. They can't seem to figure it out and fix it, so it's got to be the club. It's got to be this miracle cure. In golf, there is no such things as that. There are clubs which might suit your game better than others, but if you really want to improve, if you really want to get better, this club is not going to do it. You're going to have to pull up your socks, work on your game, and actually become a better golfer. So everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, that like button, get down into those comments below. Let me know what you think about this driver and about that old telemarketing age. And if you've ever bought any clubs off the internet? Not the internet, but over the phone. And we'll see you down here next time.